Hello and welcome to The Wandering Clinician. I am JP de Oliveira Estevao, licensed professional clinical counselor. This podcast is where we get real about mental health. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just honest conversations, practical insights, and a little wit to help you navigate the messy, beautiful complexity of being human. If you find value here, do me a favor, subscribe, like, and share this podcast. It not only helps us grow, but it also helps spread the message that mental health matters, and it belongs at the center of our everyday lives. Now let us dive in. I have been thinking about Arthur Schopenhauer lately, the 19th century German philosopher, world-class pessimist, and living proof that one can build an entire career out of sighing at the human condition. If the phrase "do not talk to me until I have had my existential crisis" were a person, it would have been Arthur. He looked at life not with theatrical despair, but with the cold, squinting suspicion of someone who had simply been paying too much attention. One of his most enduring insights is that comparison is not merely the thief of joy. It is a seasoned, professional cat burglar equipped with night vision goggles, a burner phone, and an encyclopedic knowledge of your insecurities. It creeps into your mind while you sip your excellent coffee and whispers that your toaster is a failure and your life is a B-grade pilot episode no one will renew for a second season. Schopenhauer never lived to see Instagram, but if he had, I imagine he would have thrown his pen across the room, muttered something bleak in High German, and declared, "Ah, so this is hell." He believed life oscillates endlessly between suffering and boredom, which makes me think he would have understood Mondays perfectly. According to him, human desire is a treadmill set permanently to uphill. The moment you get what you want, a job, a partner, a set of tasteful throw pillows, you instantly hunger for something else. And then, without warning, Karen from TikTok appears with a superior air fryer, and suddenly your soul begins to leak like a bad plumbing job. Yet, Arthur was not simply indulging in elegant despair. He was pointing to a truth. People manufacture their misery by peeking through the windows of other people's lives and deciding their lighting is better. When you compare yourself to someone else, here is what you are doing. You are judging your unfiltered behind the scenes by their edited highlight reel. You are assuming their smiles are authentic while yours is buffering. Their third promotion in 18 months somehow renders your path inadequate. Why? Because the human brain is an untamed gossip columnist that cannot resist inventing a storyline, especially the one that hisses, "You should be further along by now." If Schopenhauer were here, his eye roll would be so monumental it might detach from his skull and land in your cereal. Comparison is like an unwanted guest who shows up wearing a velvet cape and smelling faintly of jealousy and expired cologne. It wanders through your life, pointing out that Sharon's house has a wine fridge, reminding you that your best era was allegedly in 2014, and casually insulting your dreams while fingering the spines of your books. And the tragedy is that you let it stay. Imagine you're a potato, humble, useful, glorious when roasted with rosemary. Then one day you see a pineapple, spiky, exotic, wearing a crown. Suddenly, your perfect potato self-image collapses. You also forgot that no one craves pineapple mashed with butter at 2 a.m. after a breakup. You are the comfort food of the gods, but you fail because you are too busy trying to be tropical. Schopenhauer would call this the will to life, that restless drive to keep chasing status, possessions, and applause like emotionally erratic squirrels. He warned that until you step off this hamster wheel, you would keep suffering in loops of your creation. His advice for the modern era might be simple: log off before the scrolling turns into self-loathing. Just because someone has a marble kitchen island does not mean your laminate countertop is the end of your story. Reclaim your oddities. You may not be the richest, the most photogenic, or the trendiest, but you could make tea that could disarm an angry mob and know the names of every dinosaur in alphabetical order. That is yours. You own it. Your joy does not need an audience, nor does it require matching socks. You can laugh at yourself, at the absurdity of existence, and at the fact that your inner critic still sounds like a frazzled school principal with a clipboard. If Arthur were alive today, he would not be making self-care TikToks. He would be sitting in a dim cafe, wearing a wool coat in July, drinking coffee bitter enough to file complaints, and saying, "Joy is found in solitude, detachment, and refusing to measure your life against the curated fantasies of strangers." So, when you feel the slow itch of inadequacy, because your cousin's wedding looks like a magazine spread while you are debating whether to wash your hair, you should channel Schopenhauer. Reject the lie that you are behind, and, for the love of all things existential, stop comparing your insides to someone else's algorithm. Also, if you are tempted to compare this to Kant, please do not. He was overrated and never left his hometown. At least Schopenhauer had a dog. Thanks for wandering with me today, whether you're on a walk, in your car, or hiding from your to-do list under a weighted blanket. I'm grateful you chose to spend this time with me. If something in this episode resonated, challenged you, or just made you feel a little less alone, I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, check out my book, A Boy Called JP, available now on Amazon. It's my story, raw, reflective, sometimes a bit ridiculous, but always rooted in the belief that healing is possible and that your story matters. If you liked today's episode, please rate, review, share it with a fellow wanderer, or whisper 5 stars to the sky. That works too. Until next time, take care of your mind, honor your heart, and keep wandering with intention.